Welcome, everybody, to episode 236 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We're your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson, joined today by one of our sponsors. It's Alvaro from Fast Break Trading Cards. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nice to finally be here. We've been talking about this for a while, haven't we, boys?
It's been a work in progress for a while.
I'd say at least 12 months, really.
Yep.
It has. There's been a lot going on the last 12 months, though. So apologies for not getting on here sooner. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll definitely make it a regular visit. Looking forward to jumping on.
Tell us about the top two things you've done in the last 12 months then that's kept you so busy.
Well, to be honest, I think CollectFest was massive. That was as you boys know, and I suppose a lot of your viewers and listeners would probably have been there. We did CollectFest Melbourne. We didn't venture into state. That'll be next year. But we tried to put on as big a show as we could for the Melbourne show, and it took a lot of planning. It was a lot of work, but it was well received, and we're glad we did it because people had a fantastic time. We had an absolute ball. You know, we had Archie Thompson join us on the Sunday and Leonard Copeland join us on the Saturday, and I think the enjoyment that a lot of people that came to the show got out of those two fellas being there was, I think it made the whole weekend for us, really. And yeah, just being able to do it with Tops, that was amazing. They were fantastic. They wanted to get a bit of a footprint into Australia, and they allowed us to be the ones to do it. And
awesome.
It was amazing. It really was. It was, and the boys from CollectFest, what a show! Like for a first time effort, that was incredible. And I think that's how amazing is it to see the strength of the hobby with shows like that. Even the hobby hangout at the Carlton, the new venue, which was
the hobby hangout Excel. Yeah,
awesome. They've announced for next year as well, so we'll be there. And the boys this weekend coming up at Marvel Stadium, which last year what a show that was as well.
Talk about venues though. Like, look at this. Man, go back 2 years ago, we were at the Pavilion for the hobby hangout, and that was it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we've got Royal Exhibition Building, we've got the Exhibition Centre with CollectFest, and then we've got Marvel Stadium with the National. Like, the hobby
they're not garages or small basketball courts anymore, are they? They're
not at all.
Or town halls.
That's it.
And I'm not bagging town halls because when I was young, that's what we used to go to.
That's where you go,
shows at town halls, But I think that's the growth of what we're doing, and the hobby that we're in, that we can actually fill out, these venues. And over the course of 2 days, now it's becoming a norm to do it over a couple of days, which is unbelievable.
2
but
day
when you
shows,
think about it, John went to the National, 100,000 people. Fanatics Fest, 100,000 people.
It's bananas numbers, isn't it?
It's amazing. Yeah. It's big numbers.
Yeah. The hobby's certainly healthy, that's for sure.
It's bigger than sporting events and concerts. When you say 100,000 people, like that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and to sort of loop this in as well, we're not talking about just having big shows. There are. If you look up on your calendar, normally there's something going on somewhere, and it can be a small swap meet, it can be a store having a trade day. There's something happening every weekend, and it's fantastic to see.
It used to be once or twice a year. The calendar is quite packed now.
Yeah. I randomly was at the Queen Vic Market the other week, and they've decided to try and slate a trade day thing on there to sort of capitalize on the influx of Pokemon interest. But
that's
nuts.
Yeah. We've had a couple of trade days ourselves. We had the anniversary, the one in March, which was fantastic. It's a bit hard, especially where we're at, with the outdoor venue that we've got as well. We'd love to host more, but it's weather dependent, So we'll get more done in the future.
Yeah,
but the other one is we've got Macau. We've got Macau coming up as well. Which
talk about Macau, because that's kind of a big
going
deal
international. This is awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of the Aussie guys do. It's a last minute thing for us. We only really organised it a month ago, but we went last year for the first time, and it was unbelievable. Like it's the first time I've ever been to Hong Kong and Macau, and they do it really well as well. I think this year they got Jalen Green, and they've got a preseason NBA game.
That's nice,
which would be good. We're looking forward to it.
What's your objectives in Macau? What are you going to do, man? Because that's a huge entry point for you guys to go to.
Yeah, definitely. But last, I think it's to stabilise us in one point because last year we spent 8 hours on the show floor the first day,
Wow.
just literally just dealing, and
Yep.
then the second day we did the same. And time goes so quick. A bit like the national I went to the national 3 years ago when it was at Atlantic City, and I tell you what, you lose yourself in what you see,
Yep.
and but I think the beauty about
Mm.
Macau is, these are our Asian partners in a way when it
Yeah.
comes to the hobby. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And a lot of them I actually got a lot of feedback that a lot of fellas actually get on our pages and purchase because it's, we actually do have some decent cards here that they pick up and
Yep.
sell at the show. So, there's a lot of
Exchange rate's
guys
pretty
there on the
favourable for them too. So
100% it is.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. I
So
was gonna
it's
say
cost me.
that's it would be it's something I suppose relationship building's one aspect, but I suppose getting new pieces for the shop
Mm,
or for like expanding internationally is a place where you pick up a bigger variety of cards.
definitely. And last year I took a couple of bigger cards that I sold there and rolled that into a lot of mid-range, let's say $100 to $500 cards, including my biggest card at the time that I had at the shop was a Kobe Flawless to 5. That was a bit hard to get rid of, but because
Oof.
people come to the shop and
Would,
ask, "Hey, what's your
wouldn't
PC like?" I haven't got a
wouldn't
PC
be
because
difficult these days, I
everything's
reckon. Yeah.
everything's at the shop. You know what I mean? And I'd
Yeah.
rather, and it was hard to do, but to be honest, it was, bringing back 60 cards back
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
shop made it a lot easier
Yep.
because it
Fills
was
those
inventory
cabinets
that we
up.
needed at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
that was going to be a follow-on question for that. When you go to these shows, what's the objective? Is it normally to turn over particular cards? Is it to do you target specific players, cards, anything like that when you go?
yeah, you have to target cards and players that are liquid at the time because if not, they're sitting at the shop and that's money that we could have invested elsewhere that we bring into the shop where it gives people the opportunity to buy, the players that are current at the time. And that's why when people come to the shop and they want to sell cards, so we don't always, we can't buy everything, and everyone that comes to this shop now, they understand that because we have to be able to buy cards that we know we can move and the money keeps flowing. Because if not, you stagnate with your inventory and you just build up these cards at the shop that you can't get rid of, and that means we can't buy more cards from other people that come into the shop. So it's a turnover process that's important. Um, so
so I think this is a fun sort of almost subheading for what we could talk about next. Is like, what's some of the mistakes that you've made when you've been purchasing inventory, or what's some of the successes, you might say it like that, of picking up
I
pieces from
think
people.
I'm a prospector, and I like to buy rooks. You know, um, so that's your Jared Culvers, your Sekou Doumbouya, those kind of cards that you bought at peak, 19,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
They're the burns. Even looking at Zions, I haven't brought out my Zions are sitting at home because I'm too scared to bring them to the shop.
Yeah.
But I think I think that even 2 weeks ago there was a young fellow that came into the shop and I had a Luca Optic Choice Mojo sitting there for a couple of $1,000, and the last comp was 4,000, and I hadn't checked comps for a while on that card, and he came in, he said, "Oh, that's a $4,000 card." I said, "Mate, it says 2,000. If you want it for 2,000, you take it for 2,000. Once you walk out of that shop, I'm going to
The
have to change
tickets,
the
the
price." But
tickets changing, yeah.
yeah, it's going to have to. But no, he took it, and congratulations, good on him. He did his research. It was a pot 14. I always knew it was a good card. That was for years. The last 2 years, that was a $2,000 card, but there was a recent sale for 4,000. But good on him. That's him doing his research, and he did well.
So just talk a little bit more about that, because we're talking about that offline with like the population counts and comparing that to Pokemon and how that sort of
Yep.
plays out. Like, how do you manage that sort of buying and selling in that type of space? Because Pokemon is so big at the moment. We can't not talk about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So Hodgie's the Pokemon expert at the shop. I'm still getting used to it. Ads and I have spoken about this.
Yeah.
But it's a phenomenon. Like when we first opened the shop last March, I don't think we had much Pokemon, if any. We were getting boxes, but singles we didn't have any. and now it probably makes up, I'd say, 40% of our inventory.
Wow. That's a huge shift.
Yeah, graded that is, inventory sitting in the shop, I'd say, considering we've got NBA and all the sports, it takes up one full cabinet, and we've got 3 cabinets in the store.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so, and even today, Kobe, I went to the shop today to give Kobe a bit of a hand. He said, "Elves, we need more inventory. We're running out of slabs. We're running out of boxes. We just can't get enough of it." Yeah,
Yeah.
Pokemon, it's crazy.
Is there any concern, because it's not like, I feel like Pokemon versus Topps, Panini, whoever's producing the NBA stuff, because at its heart it's a TCG. Is there just the problem that they'll just overprint it to keep up with supply? Will that flatten the market?
I don't. It's hard to say. I think it's overprinted. We've spoken about some pop reports coming up with 14,000.
Well, they don't number any of they don't serial number anything, so you don't know how many of a card has been printed. So that to itself is a.
I think once you're into the 14,000s, that's all you need to know, though, isn't it? Like that's too many.
Well, I look at that, and I look at let's say a Shaq, Shaq rookie cards, and that's their their pop numbers, maybe even more, and we called that the junk wax era. And that's people, older collectors come into the shop and said, "Helvey, why is this Shaq rookies, so cheap?" I said, "Mate, have a look at the prop report. There's so many of them out there.
Thousands of them. Yeah, literally.
100%. But you look at, I think, there was a Magic Cup that I looked at recently, and was it 8, if I'm not mistaken, 8,000 PSA 10s, and 8,000 PSA grade. But anyway, it's $4,000 card. That's a PSA 10.
That's just nuts.
Unbelievable.
It's
crazy. It's crazy.
I want to dip my toes in. Like I really like Pokemon. Like I've played Pokemon games over the years. I enjoy Pokemon, but I'm terrified to jump in because I don't understand it the way I understand basketball cards.
I'm the same. I've got such a knowledge deficit. I just don't want to touch it. Almost,
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to buy a little bit of it to go. Let's have a look at it and put it in some top loaders. But as far as slabs and everything goes, it terrifies me.
I'm around it all the time, and I've come to love it. I just think it looks amazing. You know what I mean? And it's a bit like the one at the moment that's really, really gaining a lot of steam is One Piece. My young fella, he's all over his young. Well, not too.
Is that because of the TV show? Is that like because One Piece? They've got a live action one on Netflix or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So my young fella's been watching the anime for years, and there's it's been going for a long time. He said, "Dad, you can't watch the one on Netflix." And I said, "Mate, I can't watch the other one. It's too there's too many episodes." But I started watching the Netflix one to get a gauge of who the characters are, who the more important characters are. But there's a massive following. It's huge. It's in Japan. It's massive. When we went to the Macau card show last year, there was a lot of One Piece. I've had people come into the shop that are the Star Wars collectors, and I said, "Mate, check out One Piece." He came back. He bought one box and came back and bought, I think, the last 3 boxes that we had. He goes, "LB, these are fantastic." We've got NBA collectors that, started the hobby when we opened the shop, and they were buying NBA. And then they're like, "Mate, the hit rates are too hard." They started buying One Piece, and LB, we make our money back nearly on every box. It's
wow.
It's huge. Yeah,
that is definitely a problem with NBA at the moment. Like, breaking even is just a really difficult concept.
Yeah.
I wonder that's going to be an interesting, moving forward. I think,
But the thing I have noticed in the last year, and it's obviously because it's probably because the big rooks haven't been signing. There's a lot more hits in retail product than there was previously. Like if you have a look at Mosaic now, you got stained glass, you got Genesis, and you've got micro mosaics in blasters. Fantastic. And you still get autos.
Yeah.
So there's something to chase. Downtowns in Optic, and even in Donruss. You got the mangas in Prism. Massive cards. And yes, they're very scarce, but there's something to chase. Whereas previously, what were you chasing? Silver Prisms?
Yeah, they've worked that out, definitely. And particularly when Panini lost all their autograph rights, like that's something they really pivoted quickly and they figured that out really well. Yeah.
But
Hey,
we've noticed it in tops as well.
let's take a break, and then we'll
Yeah.
come back and we'll talk some product review, and then we'll get you out of here. How does that sound?
All good. No worries
Great.
at all.
And we are back. We are back with Alvaro from Fast Break Trading Cards, and of course, Adam's with us today.
I am, and I'm hydrated.
And let's talk about some product that's coming out, LV, because I think that was one thing we definitely wanted to talk to you about today, and we just haven't gotten around to doing it. So
Yeah, for sure.
what product's coming out soon? What's on the horizon? What are you excited for? What should we be looking out for?
Anything that's going to be in the spotlight next week at the National, maybe?
Well, we're bringing some boxing. That's new. First time since 1951. I think that the Tops has released a boxing product, so it's different. It's and the thing about, I suppose, because I'm a big NBA and NFL collector, but it's nice to once we're just being in the shop, it's nice to see that we've got something for everyone. There's Star Wars, NBL released 2 weeks ago, and that product's been fantastic, to be honest. We've got June, SpongeBob. Disney's a massive one. Disney Tops Chrome. That's coming up probably in a couple of weeks' time.
Disney Tops Chrome.
Disney Tops Chrome. I think there's the Hobby, Megas, and Value Boxes coming out. June's another big one. Like, if you're a fan of the movies,
is it going to be the whole franchise, or is it just part 3?
We don't know yet. But I'm hoping it's the whole franchise because of some serious character,
some names in there, some Chalamet, some Momoa, Zendaya.
You'd think there would be. So, but once again,
you never want to say for sure they do, right? Yeah.
Oh, look, we can have our wish list.
And I've already had people hit me up about SpongeBob. It's so it's all happening, and that's the beauty. We've got some more Star Wars coming out. There's One Piece that released last week. There's another release coming out soon. There's a massive Pokemon release coming out in November. So there's, guys, there's something coming out every week, really. And it's just for us the baseball and the soccer stuff. We've got EPL coming out, I think, this week. So Top's got their license for EPL. So they'll be releasing that next week. So it's all happening. And the one that we can't wait is NBA. It's not far away, October. But we just don't know what's coming out just yet.
No, well, we'll have to get you back for the range of NBA products that come out.
It. When it actually is dropped down.
When it drops, for sure.
Yeah. Well, if it's anything like, you'd say they're going to release what they've released this last year, which has been unlicensed.
That makes sense, right?
Inception, released this week, actually. And Inception's a bit like Court Kings. So I'm really looking forward to that. Once it is licensed, because I'm a big fan of Court Kings. So if that's going to be a similar kind of product, I think we've got Royalty, which I think on Decard World might be there might be a preview on it. So which that's going to be a massive product. We've seen Tennis Royalty and we've seen UFC, and that's been an absolute fire. I think 6 autos in it. Amazing product. No, I'm excited for it. Yeah, Topps Chrome, Topps Finest, Stadium Club. If there is a Stadium Club release, there has been in soccer in the past. Has been baseball as well. It's mate, we're pumped. We're so excited.
I think we're all pretty excited to see what actually once it hits the shelves.
Yeah,
we got a taste last year, didn't we? Like we got Topps Chrome last year, but it wasn't licensed.
Yep.
So we've seen
Topps Finest. We got
We've seen what the unlicensed version looks like, and we've definitely had our little critique about how the unlicensed product looked. But now the license is in.
Well, the thing about the unlicensed, what you did get to see is the RPAs, which look unbelievable. There was a release. Resurgence for NFL, and some of those patches at next level. You guys had a discussion about the Logo Man, which was not player worn, compared to the Wemby. Was it the Jordan that was actually player worn, and he had his signature? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the player worn stuff, I've always been a big fan of the
You
player worn.
prioritise that for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And on card. A lot of the stuff that we've seen, a lot of it's been on card. The redemptions are 10-year redemptions. We've had people at the shop open up 5-year boxes.
Yeah.
Got fancy. Like there was a Steph Curry order that came out. The customer got points. You know what I mean? Whereas with Tops, you open something up and you've got the next 10 years to be able to redeem
You've
it.
got time to redeem it. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
some of the
huge,
stories
man.
coming out of like redemptions at the moment are not great with Panini. Like not great at all.
No.
And points
It's
is
unfortunate,
worse
to be
than
honest.
yeah.
And look, as a business owner, people, they spend, it's not cheap to buy
No.
product.
Yeah.
And for you to get
Hobby
a
boxes
redemption that you
you're
can't.
not mucking around. Yeah.
No, not at all, man.
Yeah.
Not at all. And a kid comes in with his parents for his birthday, gets a hobby box, pulls a redemption and gets points. Come on.
Yeah.
And it's just such a feels bad moment because you expect to hit a
100%
big card, and a redemption is just like, oh,
it's an exciting, and then you realize that you can't redeem it, and it's like, no,
it's just a nightmare. Like
Pretty
you'd
shit,
rather
yeah.
just pull the card out of the pack, but to have to go through a redemption process, and then when the process says that, oh, by the way, we can't redeem this, here's some compensation. It's not. It doesn't.
One feel good story out of
Yep.
a box of Spectra, which you know how expensive Spectra is. 2021, when we first opened the shop last year, so it was March 24. One of our customers pulled out of the one box a Lamello RPA and then a Lamello and Wiseman dual auto out of the same box, both redemptions. They offered him points. He called up. No, I'm not taking points.
Not
Ended up
taking
getting
points.
Both cards. They had both cards.
So they offered points, but they wanted.
He refused the points, and good on him.
But
So
they
we
had
ended
the
up calling up
card.
and
So
saying, mate, they had the cards. So, but anyway, it's we
That's
don't have to worry
just a
about this
shit
anymore.
effort, though, isn't it? Like that's just really
It's
bad.
not ideal,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, people pay good money,
Let's stay in this vein. I've got some stuff in the run sheet from this week that was going to be later on the show, so let's bring this forward. So this is I've got a positive and a negative story on this exact topic, which is people now
redemptions.
getting their redemption. So this is from Sports Cards Nonsense. Very bittersweet moment today. After waiting since December of 22 for the redemption, and after 6 months of waiting on a white box, I finally decided to settle up before Panini doesn't hold any licenses and I get completely screwed. Was told I'll be getting 15 Sparkle 2024 Mosaic football packs and some extras. I'm happy to finally have it resolved as packs should be here on Monday, but sad because I feel like I got extorted into accepting something lesser, which is actually quite similar to the story you just told then, Alvaro.
Yeah.
And he was waiting for a Luka Doncic autograph from 21-22 Panini Select.
I think I saw this. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take Sparkle packs for that. Like that to me is that's extortion either way you look at it. Like in my very small opinion, yeah. Especially with someone like that who is he's still on the license moving forward. Like
that's true as well.
I would take a different Luka autograph instead of the Sparkle packs if that makes sense. Like just give me any 100%. Luka autograph. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there's been other stories where we've had a customer buy 21-22 fast break, and he got a Jalen Johnson to 50. It had a massive crinkle all the way down the card. He did get Sparkle packs, but at least he got something. He got 2 Sparkle, and then ended up getting a Brandon Miller, red Sparkle. So that wasn't too bad. At least they did something about it. But I went to try and put in a ticket for it, and they said after a year they won't generate tickets for it. For a damaged product.
Yeah, so. they're clamping down on everything. They're just really putting down limitations on it. Yeah.
But my suggestion is if you get something like that, just call them. Because if you go through the process of jumping online, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, interesting.
Give them a call. They've actually, from those 2 stories that we've had customers call up, it was favourable,
Yeah.
But the one customer that did get the Steph Curry, he just got offered points online and just accepted it because he was new to the hobby. So didn't know how it worked. But the two customers that we've had call up have actually had good outcomes. So
I've got a positive one here too. This is from Phil Richards on NCM. How do you think I went with this Panini redemption after waiting for 8 years? While DeMar, and that would be DeMar DeRozan and Damari Carroll, is a possible Hall of Famer, but not exactly a superstar player. But the fact he rarely has signed any products suggests this might have been worth a decent amount if this redemption was fulfilled. The third player was intended to be Valanciunas, I believe, and it should have been numbered to 25. So in replacement for that, he got a Rasheed Wallace, Richard Hamilton, dual on card Immaculate Auto. I personally think he won that, getting the Rasheed Wallace and Richard Hamilton. But I'd also say too, these athletes need to fulfill their contracts. Like, I don't always blame Panini for this, by the way, too. Like, this is also to do with like the players
not signing stuff,
and DeRozan is known for this type of like, bad behavior, basically.
Yeah. Well,
there was a time there we didn't know LaMelo was going to sign, did we?
Yeah, there was a delay on.
He ended up coming to the party, which was good.
But that was COVID related, wasn't it?
So the story on that was that there was some misinterpretation with his contract. He thought it was just for the draft product, but actually it was for his NBA. And then what he ended up doing was holding out, and they paid him a lot more money. And then once they paid him more, then he went and opened the floodgates, and he signed everything. So as far as I'm aware, there's nothing unsigned with Melo now.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
positive. Yeah, it's just it's not a feel good moment, I guess, getting redemptions, especially with the idea that you might not be able to get it filled. But yeah, at least with Topps coming into the picture, we're having that 10-year sort of guarantee on those redemptions. Let's hope that changes the narrative a little bit on the redemption story.
And the speed of the redemptions too. So we had we had one of our customers pull a LeBron James finest gold auto.
Yep.
He pulled it in the shop actually.
Yeah, right.
And it was great to see. And I think within 3 months he got that card back.
That's awesome. That's really responsive. That's huge.
That was fantastic. 23-24. Yeah. So it was that was amazing. So mate, if they're getting those signatures back that quick, that's that's a fantastic effort.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's not too many redemption cards out there. But the fact that they've got 10 years to redeem it, that's a big win.
Takes a lot of pressure off the system, doesn't it? Yeah.
It sounds like the big cards are the ones that require redemption. Right, like we're talking signatures from LeBron James and such. So, like, I guess.
Well, LeBron's live in Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
So, and most of I'm pretty sure most of Wemby was in the product. So last year. So yeah, we'll
I think that is important. It's more aesthetically pleasing to get an autograph instead of redemption out of it. Like that's
it feels way better to pull a card out of a pack and go, oh my god, here's the actual card.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, if I judge it on, let's say, baseball and soccer, which we Topps has got full range, there's not many redemptions.
Yeah.
It's most of them you get out of the boxes. So if that correlates to what they're doing with the basketball, I think we're going to have some really happy basketball collectors.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely make me happier. All right, my final thought on this is that I would love a Canelo Alvarez autograph. Even a Terence Crawford would be fantastic. I'd also like a SpongeBob, maybe a Patrick autograph. That would be fantastic.
All right, just one thing. There's no Canelo and there's no Crawford in the new boxing.
Okay. Slightly disappointed.
Mike Tyson.
That's okay.
I checked it before, especially the Terence Crawford, because I thought that would have been a good one.
That's right. Yeah.
But if they're going to be releasing them every year, then I think everyone will be jumping on board.
Why aren't they? Yeah, tell me why aren't they jumping on board, these boxing guys? Like, pay them money and they'll sign.
I've got no idea. Like we didn't. It's one of those products we didn't have the checklist for before it came out. But you got Tyson.
Tyson's always happy to put his
Tyson
name on
Fury.
something, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And look, it might be not everyone's cup of tea, but there's Jake Paul rookie cards in there. You've got Floyd Mayweather.
Dude, people will froth over Jake Paul. Like, he's one of those polarizing guys. Even if you hate him, you'll probably still get one for your PC. Like,
and the cards that are coming out of those boxes have the RC label, so I think that'll make it big for a lot of people. But I'm just excited to see Tyson autos, Tyson Fury autos.
So what, the Tyson autograph also has got the rookie card logo on it?
No, just the Paul.
All right, I'll let that one. For me, I'll just let that go through the keeper. That makes no sense, but that's okay. Yeah.
It's the first time it's been released in a long time. Just let it be.
That's right. Just smile and nod.
I'm going to do some research and I'm going to find some Pokemon to collect. That's what I'm going to do.
Thank you for coming on, mate. thank you for all of your
good.
support. Thank you for everything you've done for us. And this is great. We'd love to do this again. We've turned 15 minutes into 32, so I think we've done pretty well.
In usual, you can't comp this
That's
style.
it. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure catching up with you guys. We'll see you next weekend at the
See you at the National.
The Oz National. And if anyone in Melbourne hasn't bought their tickets yet, get your tickets because I think they're selling out. I think Saturday's sold out.
Saturday's already sold out
Saturday, and they put a special limited release out for Saturday. But yeah, you might just be able to snag a ticket for Sunday.
I think they've got half-day tickets as well now.
Nice.
Yep.
So get there because it's fantastic. Last year was amazing. It was the first year. It was a cracking show. Amazing venue. And hopefully some nice cards there.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of fun. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. And yeah, we'll definitely catch up next week at the Oz National.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate. And we are back. Adam, how did you enjoy having a chat with Mr. Alvaro?
It was awesome. It's going to be great to see John and Alvaro next week at the Oz National. It'd be good to catch up with everybody actually at that event.
So I think the part that I enjoyed the most talking to Alvaro is like stories from the shop.
Yeah,
I think we need to nail him down better about that.
Let's get some concrete stories.
That's our responsibility too, But I think maybe the other thing we could do too is actually put this out to the listeners. Like, what questions would you like to ask a shop owner? What are some of the things
they could write and tell us about their experiences in their shop, their local shop?
We can do it both ways, can't we?
That's it.
But yeah, no, it was really.
Fun.
It's not easy to come onto a podcast, particularly with two other guys. So Alvaro, you did well, mate.
No, we appreciate it. We really do. It's good.
For the rest of today's show, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark, just because
she's injured and we've got nothing else to talk about. No.
Yeah. So last week I did go light on this, and there was a couple of reasons I went light. Honestly, and this is a little bit like kind of funny in some ways. It's like I actually was worried I was going to be sent-held.
Okay.
Where actually she wasn't injured. Then we do this huge, breakdown about Caitlin Clark and the hobby's dying, and then it turns out, she's actually not injured and la la la. And last week I did say that I'm like, look, I can't find a lot of information about her injury. There is more information out about it, but there's not a lot out there. So I think that also was sort of planting seeds in my mind that I was being sent-held. So
it was also very interesting because I know obviously the Fever have got into the playoffs, but I don't think they're in a great position. Like, so I don't think there's any value in trying to rush her back from injury. So they're probably going to be out pretty quickly. Is it like LeBron when he's carrying a niggle and goes, "Nah, I'm done this season"? And
100%. I would say that's the same as like Wemby, Tim Duncan, any big dog that's out there that you want to look after for long term. 100%.
Stick a fork in it. We're done for the season. Let's move on to next season. I like it.
All right, so this is my Caitlin Clark take. It's very interesting to me that essentially the most money that's spent on current NBA players, I think if you had the top three, would be Wemby, excluding that Jordan Kobe autograph because they're not current. And I would say LeBron is second. And then I think Caitlin Clark is next. And I think the fact that we're even talking about Caitlin Clark being more expensive than NBA players, like to me, that's just, it's backwards. There's heaps of stuff in the hobby that doesn't make sense to me, but let's just add that to the list.
Interesting.
And then we're going to talk. So I thought what we'd do today is talk about 10 Caitlin Clark cards that have sold recently and just sort of get an idea behind it and then sort of say, how badly should these people be panicking? Because case in point, let's talk about Zion Williamson. And this is an easy example to get your head around, just for the fact that he went up so much and then, went down so much, okay? So if we look at his silver PSA 10, just because, this is our benchmark that we always just look at, his all-time growth, he was up to 6,300.
Yeah.
He's now currently trading at $233. So that's all-time. So all-time, he's down 89%.
Yeah.
If you look at the last 2 years, he's down 63%.
It's pretty scary.
The last 12 months, he's down 47%.
Yeah.
And the last 6 months, let's look at this, he's down 30%, which is a lot, but also too relatively stable for Zion, which is a crazy thing to say. So I think what I'm trying to say here is like these people who go up to the tippy top, it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to buy it at the top and then it's going to stay there. It could also very much go down quite quickly.
Like a toboggan ride, just like down to the bottom.
Absolutely. And I think, the thing that's really been in my head this week is like, why aren't other influencers and other people in the hobby talking about this? Like, I really feel like there's a void in terms of content here because, like, for me, this is a massive story and just no one's sort of picking it up. So I think how I wanted to talk about
What
this
ifs
is,
about Caitlin Clark if it becomes something problematic?
well, actually, I mean, the problematic stuff, I think that's too early to say that. But I'd also probably say, too, is like, have we actually lost perspective on what's going on with her? So I think what we should do is talk about 10 cards of
Sure.
hers.
Yep.
Let's try and get this done in the next 10 minutes. We're already 5 minutes into this segment. So I'm going to start at the top of the link here, Adam. Caitlin Clark blockchain sale. Now, this just sold in the last couple of days. This sold for $175,000. It's the green Kaboom 1 of 1. Now, there were some funny stories out around this, and basically it was saying like, this is another way of money laundering, essentially.
The blockchain stuff.
Yeah. And you can take this for what you want. Maybe they're just laundering money into like a high-end piece. Look, I got no comments on that. I just, I was actually saying on last week's show just how much of a spectacular failure blockchain has been. And then this happened, literally 2 days afterwards. So, I think that's a classic Russellism. But I'd also say too, I'm not holding my breath on this stuff.
It's a digital card. I'm just, yep.
At all.
Yep.
All right. So I think let's chalk that up to an L straight away. This next one is called a Caitlin Clark Gold. So this is her gold rookie card number to 10. Remembering there's two variants. There's the finger up variant and there's the jump shot variant. This is the jump shot variant.
$50K.
This sold for $50,000. Look, I'm probably of all the cards we're about to talk about today, I'm probably worried about this one the least. We're going to talk about golds later on the show a little bit more, but golds will often outsell numbered to like 5s or numbered to say 3s.
Yeah.
The gold is very, very popular. The only thing I'm a bit worried about,
gold stands for first, right? Like it's one of those.
If you're an Olympic athlete, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm worried about this though is the PSA 9. Like, what happens when the PSA 10 comes up and only sells for say $45,000 or $35,000?
Yep, reasonable.
Yeah. The next one is the silver PSA 10. This is the shooting card. I think this is really interesting. And, we're talking about Jason Tatum as a benchmark at around $700. So let's just keep that in mind. She's trading currently at $2,000. Now, the last 6 months, she's down 20%. When I keep saying she, I'm talking about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
This was actually up to $5,000 at one point. So this is down like a lot.
Yeah, okay.
It's, if we shorten this down, we'll go to the last 3 months, it's actually down 40%.
Yeah. But maybe that's just settling, like the Wemby spike, and then
absolutely. This is before her
comes
injury.
in for landing.
But now we're also adding injury into this too. I really think if this is $1,000 card in 12 months, that's going to be quite an achievement.
Yeah, fair.
The only thing that's going to hold this, I think, is its saving grace is the population count. The population is at the moment is just 49.
Yeah, true.
And also too, she is the bright spark of the WNBA.
She's the face of the league.
Face of the league is going to be coming back. There's sort of no qualms about that. The pointing up, this is a Pulsar number to 499. WNBA is configured differently to NBA, just sort of keeping that in mind. Population, this is 30. This sold for $1,000. I actually really like this as a purchase, even if she's interest. Cheaper than the silver. Obviously, the population control is going to be much tighter on this long term.
Yeah,
I do think that the Pulsar makes it a bit busier, so it sort of takes away from the aesthetics. I get all of that, but at the same time, it being numbered gives you some protection there.
Okay.
Now, these next two, I'm going to put these into the catastrophic category. These are the Bowman University Chrome, and these were selling for absolutely, in my opinion, bananas at one point. So the highest sale on this was $799. This is the silver university, or they call it refractor. The fancy tops people, that's what they call it. Population on this is 350, so it's not insane, but it's also not low. The last sold on this was 270, so we've already had a very large decline on this already. This is the type of stuff where I can imagine this bottoming out to like less than $100. And even if you sell it for $100, you'll be kind of like, oh, geez, I'm glad I sold that for $100. Like, even though it's Caitlin Clark, the only sort of, flip side on that is there is some Kobe Bryant cards that are out there, like that really lower end. It's like that sort of central face shot of Kobe. And that was down to like $20 at one point. That's shot up to $100 just recently. So look, that might be your play, long term. If you're looking to buy and hold these long term, if you're picking these up for dirt cheap and putting them away, if you're buying them for $20, maybe that's fine. But at the same time, purchasing that for $800, I think that's catastrophic. The next one I've got on here is the yellow to 75. That is currently trading at 1,280.
That is tanked.
That was at 2,699 at the high point. I would probably just get the number to 499 of the Pulsar in an NBA uniform instead of a university uniform, unless you're a diehard Iowa fan that needs this.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That needs this in your PC. Like, again, this for me is just like tread carefully.
It's the college thing, right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. So if you go to the last 6 months on this is down 45%. Let's just round it up to 45%. I think that line keeps going that trajectory. There's nothing in my mind that's going to hold this up. All right. We scooted through that pretty quickly, and I did that on purpose because if we go to the next link ad, and everyone at home will be able to do this, go onto Card Ladder, click on sales, search for Caitlin Clark, and organize it by price. And you will be presented with
a lot of money.
Call this outlandish. All right, so number one on this list for $660,000 and this sold very recently on July the 25th.
That's
the platinum Caitlin Clark rookie logo woman autograph 1/1.
Yeah.
So look, obviously, if you're buying one card and you can afford it, this is the card to buy. It's flawless.
Mm-hmm.
It's on-card autograph. It's the logo woman. I've got no problems with that. What do you predict that this card could or will be going down to next?
That's a tough one, isn't it? Yeah, I think, but that's got to be the pinnacle of Caitlin Clark cards.
Absolutely.
Flawless. Even the one below it, the National Treasures. They're both like those one-of-one crowning pieces, being one-of-ones.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they'll keep their 500K benchmark, which is obviously the second one. But I think that 500K is a good floor for it. So
the Luca Logoman, that fluctuated 500K, if my memory's right. Mm-hmm. That sold for $1 million, didn't it? Then it sold for 500,000, and then, like, why couldn't that go down to 300 or 200, and then maybe come back up again? Maybe stay down.
Well, it depends. Like, it could go down if Caitlin Clark has an injury riddled next season, then that card could go down a lot.
So what you're saying is it's too soon to panic?
Yes.
Okay.
So they've stuck a fork in it for the end of this season. If the start of the next WNBA season there are injury concerns, I think that's when panic buttons will start getting hit.
So we've talked about the first two. You mentioned the National Treasures. The next one on the list is the gold vinyl 1/1 PSA 10. So that's a sticker autograph, unfortunately, because it's a Prism card. That sold for $366,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that for me is really tough because I think the gold vinyl is fantastic. I think the card looks beautiful. They've done a fantastic job with the finishing. It being a sticker autograph hurts my head at that price point.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. But at the same time, too, clearly the market dictated, where that card was going.
Where it sat, yeah.
I actually like this list a lot because you can really see like a delineated tiers. This is actually a really good like teaching tool in some ways to say like this product is worth the most. This one's worth, the next. So next we've got the Kaboom. This is in BGS.
This is the physical copy of that 1/1.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. So 340K that sold for. Just comping that to the digital, which sold for 175. So that's almost exactly double, isn't it? Interesting that went to BGS though. I suppose that saved the subber a couple of $1,000, I suppose, doing that.
Probably. I don't know.
Next on the list is iMac. Again, logo woman on-card autograph. This one is inscribed, though, with Rookie of the Year 24. That sold for 317,000K.
That's a good... I reckon that's actually... that's a good price point for that one.
What do you like better, the Kaboom or the iMac? Because that's a very, very similar price point.
Ooh. I would go the logo.
I really do like the patch autograph part, but I think there is a part of me that also says Kabooms.
I would say if things going well with Caitlin Clark, not going the other way, and the panic buttons don't get hit. That iMac card goes up, not down.
Okay, I just wonder at 317,000K, like, could you have waited a couple of years when everything dipped down and spent that 300,000 on like the NT or the flawless? Because I feel like that's really in play now.
When did that sell? 10th of August. This is before the injury.
Yeah.
Someone would be buying it now and hoping that she went on a murderous run in the playoffs and the fever won.
100%.
Yeah. Because that would send the card skywards.
All right, we're up to our 15-minute mark. Let's talk about one more card. I'll let you do the picking, and then we'll go to a break.
Oh, this is an easy one for me. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to go to the next one down. I like the Black Prism. It's a mosaic, isn't it too? Is it? No. Oh, Black Prism, the finite went for 275k.
Again, PSA 9. I suppose, so if the base is going for 275, it kind of makes sense that autograph would go for 360.
I like it. It's the finger, isn't it? Pointing up.
That's the finger pointing up one there.
Yep, 1 of 1. I like it.
Anyway, look.
Don't know about the price point, but
people at home, if you do want to have a bit of a browse through this, for me, this is incredibly eye-opening, just like what's happening in this market, in this space.
Yeah.
I think we just keeping an eye on this, moving forward. This has to be a work in progress. I don't think it's the final time we're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. I definitely don't think it's the last time. Yeah.
There's US Sports Cards Australia, thank you so much for your ongoing love, sponsorship, and support. Go to ussportscardsaustralia.com.au. Click on the 3 little noodles. You will find sports breaks. Check out my Cards Australia, singles categories, collectible protection, hobby boxes, toys, and sports memorabilia. Ross is annoying everybody in a group chat at the moment with his Check Out My Cards Australia, with him developing his own standalone page for that. That will be coming very, very shortly. Do not forget, all You Can't Comp This listeners who are subbing their singles to Check Out My Cards Australia, all you need to do is write You Can't Comp This on the submission form. You get a free submission on that. Basically, Check Out My Cards Australia is a consignment service. You send all of your cards into Ross. He'll list them, help you with the pricing, sell them for you, put the funds into your account. Simple as that. You're all done. Thank you to US Sports Cards Australia for your ongoing love and support. Adam, we're back. How you doing, buddy? We're into the final run.
I am good. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk some more stuff. What's left on the sheet?
The hobby makes no sense to me. This is about the 3rd time we've already said this in tonight's podcast. This is from the Market Movers app. The green number to 5 of a Steph Curry PSA 10 from 2013 Panini Select recently sold for $5,896. The gold number to 10 sold for $15,000, nearly $16,000, $15,900. So I think the reason why I brought this up is because there are just some things in the hobby that have never made sense. Like for me, the thing that really I struggle with, there's been 2 massive things for me, is Select hobby. Even though the population count on almost everything in Select is lower, I personally find Select generally more aesthetically pleasing than Prism. There's some years Prism's obviously better than Select. I've got no problems with that. But always the prices on Select is much lower than what Prism is, particularly for silver rookie cards and numbered cards. The other one that I always struggle with too is Prism Fast Break.
Yeah, okay.
Even the numbered cards on that just sell way, way worse than anything that comes out of Prism Hobby does.
I don't understand that.
I think it's just the aesthetics of the bubbles, basically. I think it's as simple as that. There's nothing else to it. Like the population counts are lower, everything. I was always hoping, to be honest with you, that eventually the fast break market would catch up with the regular market, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think this is something else that we can just add to this list of, there are things in the hobby that happen, they don't make sense, but you just have to accept it. And this is literally shining a torch onto an example where a number to 10 will outsell 3x a card that's much lower population than
the high value card.
Yeah. So frankly, I think both of these purchases are fantastic. I personally think the green number to 5 is a way better buy, just for the fact that it is number to 5 and it's, 1/3 of the price. I just wonder moving forward though, with those really iconic cards, probably at the end of the day, the better purchase is going to be the gold to 10, just because of like the actual finances of it, if that makes sense. Yeah. But
yeah, for sure.
Where are you at with stuff like this? Like, have you got a crazy example of your own of things that just don't make sense in the hobby?
Not real, not in this sense, but I can see why the gold has more appeal. Obviously, there's the color match factor. I'm a big fan of the color match.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of yellow in the uniform, but
they are the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, that is true. That is true.
Not the green and the State Warriors.
That is true.
But it is like the gold Kobe's, for argument's sake, because the Lakers are purple and gold. Like, I guess a bunch of, actually, no, the green would probably still sell pretty big.
Anyway, GameStop. Let's talk about that really quickly. I was hoping we'd get more comments on this, but we literally have got 2 comments. in all
Maybe
of the
there's just a lack of interest.
in the posts that I put up. Look, I'm not sure. It might be one of those things of like, this is too early. But
Yeah.
as much as Caitlin Clark has been on my mind this week,
Yeah.
I would also say these power packs have been on my mind too. So I think if you didn't listen,
Did you hear the rumor?
what's that?
I don't know if it was a rumor or it was any. The GameStop were going to try and buy PSA.
I haven't mentioned that because
It's unsubstantiated, but
like that to me is more like a conspiracy theory than news.
Yeah,
But, I mean, now you've brought it up. Like, I'm happy to talk about it. So the context of this is that remembering what happened with GameStop, how essentially their own fans,
there was the
they
it's
did
like
the Reddit post, and then
buyer.
people saved GameStop from collapse.
Yeah.
So that was
Yep.
the first thing that happened. That also brought in a lot of money into GameStop. So then they've taken that money and made some investments into things. And then since that time, now they've floated essentially where, and look, and companies will do this from time to time. They'll go to their shareholders and say, would you like to buy these shares at this particular price? And then more money is put into the company, and then they can take that money and reinvest into the next thing. So they've just raised another $1 billion in cash.
Yeah.
Can you buy PSA for $1 billion? I actually don't think PSA would sell them for $1 billion.
Yeah, I actually tend to agree. I tend to agree.
Maybe they'll get a 40% stake, or maybe they'll get a 50% stake, but I couldn't imagine that they will sell out because also, why would you sell PSA?
Yeah, that's true. Why would you?
And if GameStop and PSA have already got this huge collaboration, which seems to be working well, like, I mean, I suppose if you're GameStop, it makes you a better company, so that will be why you would try and buy it. But I just don't understand it from PSA's perspective.
That's fair.
I think where I'm trying to go with this is I don't believe this until I hear it from Nat Turner, or I hear it from Ken Golden, or I hear it from someone like Old Mate, which I don't want to say his name.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Like, I know what you mean.
That's fucking Jeff Wilson. Yeah.
Jeffy boy.
All right, so just to refresh, if you didn't hear what we were talking about last week with the GameStop power packs, essentially you go online, you purchase a power pack. It's a digital redemption of a physical card.
Yep.
The card is physically in the PSA vault, so then you can have it shipped out to you. You can have instant buyback, or you can hold it in the vault.
And keep re-rolling until you get the card you want, you mean?
Correct. They say at the moment they anticipate the average buy will be 3 times because people will accept buyback, purchase again, accept buyback, purchase again, and then tap out. That's what they're anticipating will happen.
That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I personally think there's a lot of legs in this. It's currently still in beta phasing. I think they're doing Pokemon and NFL at the moment. They're not actually technically up to NBA yet, even though they've said they will release one. They're definitely going to do NBA. Like that's not even a conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
If or when. So look, Travis Parker, I heard you guys talking about these on the recent Timeless Moments episode. They sound pretty cool to me. Definitely give them a go. Corey Gilbert, from what I heard you say about them, sound very similar to Arena Club's repacks. If so, I'm willing to give it a try. I look, stupidly small sample size, and even if I get your opinion, that takes it to 3 or 4. But at the same time, I kind of get the feeling these are going to be very well received.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Where are you at with these? Yeah.
I think people have got an appetite for risk in the hobby, so I don't see it being this any different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think people will have a punt on cards on packs like this. It's as simple as that.
Would you have a crack?
How much are they?
There's a price range. There's like 25, 50, 100, I think 150. I think there's $1,000 one too. So
okay, I might have a flutter for $100 one maybe or something. Yeah. I'd give it a crack. I don't know if I'd re-roll. I'd just buy one and see what happened.
I think particularly if I hit on the first one, I would definitely keep re-rolling.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where the temptation is, right?
Also, that it's instant.
Yeah.
I think that's that to me is the differentiating part for sure.
Fair.
Alrighty, Brogdon to the Knicks. This is interesting for a couple of reasons because he had been unofficially said to have signed with the Golden State Warriors. Now, the reason he didn't sign on paper there is because of the Jonathan Kuminga contract hasn't been resolved. Yeah. So until that happened, there was all these other basically moving parts that hadn't been resolved. Obviously, Brogdon couldn't wait much longer. He then went and signed with the Knicks. So if you look at the Knicks roster now, they are literally 12 deep.
Okay.
And as much as I like Deuce McBride, I'm kind of like, I think Brogdon should play ahead of Juice. I think Brogdon is one of those players that if you were measuring IQ on the court, he would be in the top 5 in the whole league.
He's
Jokic, LeBron.
Wow, Brogdon up there.
Halliburton. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Athletically, he's not fantastic. And I think he makes up for that complete lack of athleticism with his nous. I think that's the best way to say it. Look, I don't think we even need to talk about Malcolm Brogdon cards. He doesn't comp
No, it doesn't.
very high. So we can probably leave it at that and just move on to the next thing.
Cool.
Ben Simmons.
Doesn't comp very well either.
Allegedly was offered one contract this off-season. It was from the New York Knicks. I'm going to say that offer, now that Brogdon has gone there, is no longer available.
Agreed.
His agent has also dropped him, which is an interesting one. I don't really recall the last time an agent dropped an NBA player.
Can you call him an NBA player?
He's more of an NBA player than I'll ever be, so I'll say yes.
I'd say he's a former NBA player with back issues. Anyway, yep.
I think at this point in time, you can almost chalk that up to be like Ben Simmons, might not be coming back to the league, which is a crazy thing.
Didn't even make it. Yeah,
technically didn't make it to 10 years. So
yeah, it's pretty. It's
2016 rookie card, PSA 10 silver, last sold for $33.
Wow,
it's a sad decline for this young man.
You and I think this card for less than $300 or $400 back when he.
Yeah. So his highest sold price was $3,048, mate. It's literally gone down $3K. That's a shocker. I'm actually shocked it went, like, if that was, say, if the floor on that was $100, I'd be like, that's totally fine. I get that. There's enough.
Do you know what the scary bit is, right? That $3,500, that $3,000 sale, right? $3,048. That's during the crazy period, during COVID.
Yeah.
The $2,275 sale was in 2017.
Yeah.
People were paying for this guy.
Yeah, so there was a bit going on around Ben Simmons, and I actually can't remember all this.
Remember the process with Embiid and...
No, but he also refused to sign. So what it did was then people...
he was with Leaf and... Yeah.
So then people chased alternative rookie investments for, the number one overall pick.
Yeah, fair.
And actually, the market at the time, silvers weren't that popular. And so he actually... You can kind of blame Ben Simmons a little bit for this, is that he made silver rookies more popular. You need a coffee, mate, even though it's...
I know. Look, it's almost the end. It's almost the end of
the
show.
We're nearly there.
Ben Simmons, I'm like, scraping the bottom of the barrel if we're talking about him anymore.
All right, this is from @RTNBA. Who is the better player? Dennis Rodman, 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Defensive Player, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time champ, 7-time rebound champion. Draymond Green, 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Defensive Player, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time NBA champion, 1-time Steel champion. Who have you got?
I'm Rodman. I'm on Rodman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Rodman because he was so... You think about, I feel like Draymond's been more consistent for longer, but I think Rodman was more impactful in waves.
I think... For me, young Dennis Rodman in Detroit was, in terms of just a lockdown defender, that for me was that's in my mind, that's the gold standard of how someone can defend. Some of the footage of him defending for me just blows my mind. So I would say that first. The second thing I would say is I think he was a fantastic player and again, very high basketball IQ. Yeah. But I actually wondered today if he would struggle to translate across because of his complete lack of offensive game. And what now NBA defenses can do to, zeros on the court when it comes to that. So, the classic example, actually, and using the Draymond Green reference, is how that you can put Draymond Green onto the worst offensive player and let him roam around because he literally just doesn't have to defend.
That's fair.
And that's a very typical Golden State strategy.
Yeah.
I think his rebounding, though, really does set him apart between him and Draymond.
Yeah.
And I think that Rodman is a much, much better athlete than what Draymond is. And I think in some ways, and that's even though you could say, that's criticizing Draymond, but actually Draymond to get that far being the lack of athlete and being undersized, that's actually a huge compliment to him just to maximizing getting everything out of his body, that he has done.
Yeah.
I just think, and I think for me, I'm going with Rodman. And I'd also say, considering we're an NBA hobby show, we have to then also talk about the cards. And it's so clearly in favor of Rodman. It's just not funny. Like, there's a
Yeah,
whole
okay.
heap of Rodman stuff that goes for way higher than
But I feel like
I
there are
personally think.
Rodman collectors out there.
There are just Rodman collectors out there, but also I find all of his stuff just goes, for me, just like way too high. And I don't understand why it goes for so high. But again, putting that down to, things that doesn't make sense in the hobby, people love Rodman and they'll pay those prices for the sneaker spotlights and the on-card autographs and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So,
It's an
whereas
interesting-
Draymond, no one cares.
He was the third. It was the third one. It was the Splash Brothers and Draymond. Do you know what I mean? Like he was number 3 in the big 3. So in that
Or
big
4.
3. Or 4.
I mean, Iguodala got Finals MVP, right?
This is true. He was never the guy.
No, definitely no, and he never was. That was his whole thing. He was just like a nuts and bolts guy. Jordan to close from our friends at Card Ladder, the 1998 Skybox Premium Intimidation Nation. I actually don't mind the artwork on this. I don't like the title of the card, but that's totally fine. It's a Court Kings-esque illustration going on here. This sold for $88,000. Population 10, PSA 10. Population on this is just 11. I don't have a problem with this pricing. I just would rather have paid $10K for it, like what it did
Yeah.
in 2018, so.
Well, it goes back. It's another one of those things. We spoke about it earlier in the episode with Alvaro. Pop count.
Yeah.
And those, especially those Jordans, those low pop Jordans and Kobe's and such.
Final thoughts, Ad?
The hobby's gone completely mad, but it is very healthy. No, we haven't gone completely mad. It's some things don't make sense, but yeah, we're healthier than ever. There are shops that you can go in and hang out at. There are trade shows everywhere. Times are good. Times are good. It's a fun time to be involved in the hobby. That's my final thought for this week.
Thanks, Ad. Thanks, Central Coast Radio listeners. Thank you to all our podcast listeners and supporters. We appreciate you. And of course, thanks to Alvaro again for coming on and giving us his time. We appreciate it a lot.
We do. And we'll see you. We'll see you online next week, but we might see you at the Oz National next weekend.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.